As we move on to DUAD, and due to the timing of this video, I felt it was right to cover both the new Punk cards and Psychic cards. I have a ton of combos and options to talk about today, so I'm just going to get straight into it. The first card that we have here is Mind Procedure, a light level 3 Psychic tuner that reads, if this card you control would be used as synchro material for a Psychic monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. A pretty important effect because at times it might feel like you don't have the right combination or that there might be too many tuners, and you can only use one of the following effects of Mind Procedure per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect or normal summoned, you can pay 2,000 life points, add 1 teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is banished, you can pay 1,000 life points, special summon it. So we're going to continue here by normal summoning the Mind Procedure so that we can get its effect on normal summon, and it would be pretty crazy if you were able to special summon it off of E-Telly and then grab another E-Telly, but in this scenario, we're going to get ourselves the Parallel Teleport, which is a new quick play, and it reads, tribute 1 Psychic monster that has a level, special summon 1 level 7 or lower Psychic monster from your deck or extra deck. Then, if those monsters' original levels are different, you lose life points equal to the difference times 1,000. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this card except Psychic monsters, so that's very important to note, but you can only activate 1 Parallel Teleport per turn. Now, we're going to continue here by activating the Parallel Teleport, and this will give us access into the copy of the Silent Psychic Magician, and this is a level 5 synchro. It is also a tuner and reads, it takes 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monsters. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Psychic monster in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. Then you can increase its level by 1. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Psychic monsters. So this is another one of those cards that can make a lot of the decisions that you make change just because you can special summon something from the banished, something from the graveyard, depending on what it is, also could drastically change your plays. You also have the ability to increase its level by 1 or keep it the same, which can decide whether you go into a level 8 or 9 synchro. Psychic Magician once per turn, and if this card you control would be used as synchro material, you can treat it as non-tuner, so further making it a card with a lot of flexibility that can change how you approach what you make your end board with. But you're going to use the effect of the Silent Psychic Magician here in order to bring back the copy of Mind Procedure, and then we're going to go into the copy of Dragon Drive. Use the effect of Dragon Drive paying 600 life points, and this will give us the ability to add Ghost Ogre, and from here we can go into one of our next new cards depending on when you're watching this, but we're then going to go into our Jam Fever. This is a rank 8 that takes 2 level 8 monsters. Once per turn you can also exceed summon Punk Jam Fever by using 1 Punk Fusion or Synchro monster you control as material. You can only use each of the following effects of Jam Fever once per turn. You can pay 600 life points and detach 1 material from this card, draw 1 card. When another monster's effect is activated and you have a level 3 Psychic monster in your graveyard, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Now, it's important to note that this is a light tuner and it can get Bestialed because it's a light. Now, that said, you do have the Ghost Ogre in order to get that into the graveyard, but just something that you have to keep in mind when playing this deck. Now, for this next combo, again, we'll be starting with the Mind Procedure, and this time around, I want to show what happens if you add Emergency Teleport, and there will be 2 different options that you can do. The first one is going to feel very redundant, but I just want to show that you can do it, and I also want to show another new card, Serene Psychic Girl. It's a level 2 tuner that reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish 1 card from your hand, and if you do, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Psychic monster from your deck, except Serene Psychic Girl. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Psychic monsters. You can target face-up monsters on the field that have a level up to the number of Psychic monsters that you control, increase their levels by 1 until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of Serene Psychic Girl once per turn. Now, we're going to continue here by going into our Silent Psychic Magician again, as now we can bring back the Mind Procedure. Again, we won't be changing its level because we don't need to, as we're going to go into our Dragon Drive, use the effect paying 600 life points, as we'll then be able to add the copy of Ghost Ogre, and much like before, we'll just be able to end on the Jam Fever along the Ghost Ogre off of this 1 card. Now, for this final combo with Mind Procedure, we're going to start here by normal summoning it again, as we're then going to be able to use its effect, which will pay 2,000 and then grab ourselves the copy of E-Telly. Now, we'll be able to activate the E-Telly, as this will give us the ability to special summon out the Zeoman, use the effect of the Zeoman, pay 600, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Rising Scale. The Rising Scale is another new card that we got in Battles of Legends. It reads, you can banish 1 other Punk card from your hand or graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can pay 600 life points, take 1 Punk monster from your deck or graveyard except a level 8 monster and either add it to your hand or special summon it. When a monster your opponent controls with 2500 or more attack activates its effect, quick effect, you can change it to face down defense position. You can only use each effect of Rising Scale once per turn. So kind of envious of Punk here, where it feels like whenever they get support it's always sort of solid, but we're now going to go into our SP, as we'll then be able to activate the Rising Scale in hand, banishing the Zeoman, use the effect, and this is another part where how you approach this board can change drastically, because if you have link pointers, you can even link again by special summoning out the Deer Note, getting another extender, but in this scenario I just want to show that you can end on the SP plus the Thunder God, and I don't remember what set exactly this came out in, but I'm pretty sure it came out during my hiatus, and it reads, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, gain 300 life points when it resolves. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can pay 1500 life points and tribute this card. Then, activate one of these effects. Destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls, destroy all face-up spell and traps your opponent controls. You can only use this effect of Thunder God once per turn. Now, because we got Rising Scale, I want to show off what you can do with just Ogre Dance, and we're going to start here by activating the copy of Ogre Dance, getting ourselves the copy of the Zeoman, and now we can normal summon the Zeoman, use its effect, which will give us the ability to add the Rising Scale, and now because we have that extra Punk card in the graveyard, we can banish the Ogre Dance, special summon the Scale, use the effect of the Rising Scale, pay 600 so that we can get ourselves the copy of Deer Note, and now we'll be able to go into the copy of Dragon Drive. Use the effect of the Deer Note as Chainlink 1, Dragon Drive as Chainlink 2, and then you can chain block both of those with the Zeoman as Chainlink 3, as then we'll be able to add ourselves the copy of Ghost Ogre. We'll then be able to revive the Zeoman off of the Deer Note. We'll then be able to go into the Jam Fever, go into our Thunder God, and with this, we now have access to 3 interactions with our opponent just off of the Ogre Dance. Now for this next combo, we have Serene Psychic Girl plus any other Psychic monster, as we're going to start here by normal summoning the Serene Psychic Girl, use its effect banishing the driver, then special summon out the copy of the Mind Procedure, use the effect of the Mind Procedure, which will grab ourselves the copy of the Teleport Fusion, and this is another new card, a quick play that reads, during the main phase, fusion summon one Psychic Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing Psychic monsters from your field and or graveyard as material. If a face-up Psychic monsters you control that was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Psychic monsters, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Teleport Fusion once per turn. So again, another very solid card just because it's searchable, gives you another interaction with your opponent at the end of the day, and something that you can also set. But we're going to end up going into our Silent Psychic Magician, use its effect, which will bring back the Mind Procedure, and from here we'll then be able to go into the copy of Thought Cross Archfiend, get another new card, a Psychic Synchro level 8 that reads, it takes 1 Psychic Tuner plus 1 non-tuner monsters during the main phase. Quick effect, you can target one of your banished level 7 or lower Psychic monsters, special summon it. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can tribute one other monster, gain life points equal to its original attack, and if you do, this card gains that much attack until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of Cross Archfiend once per turn. Now, from this point, we're just going to end up using its effect in order to bring back the driver, so if you are playing Psyframes, having the ability to bring back your banished driver could be very important here. But we're then going to link away into the Lambda at the Teleport Fusion, pass on to our opponent, and of course I show this because if you do have a Psyframe, this is going to be a lot stronger, where now you can use the Psyframe because Lambda is on the field. But now at this point, during your opponent's turn and in the main phase, you can activate the Teleport Fusion at any point in order to bring out your Absolute Axon Kicker. As the Absolute Axon Kicker reads, it takes 1 Psychic Synchro monster plus 1 Synchro monster and must first be fusion summoned. If this card is fusion summoned, you can pay 2000 life points, banish all face-up cards your opponent controls, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and if this card is in your graveyard except during the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, special summon 1 level 10 Psychic Fusion monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. You can only use this effect of Axon Kicker once per turn. Now this is pretty solid just because we do have a level 10 target that isn't all too bad. It's the Mutant Ultimus, and it's a 3500 beat stick, but more importantly, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 mutant card, which means itself, banish and negate something of the same type, whether it be monster, spell, or trap. In this case, it'll be a monster negate because we're banishing itself. Now for this next one, we have the Serene Psychic Girl alongside Zeoman, and we're going to start here by normal summoning the Serene Psychic Girl again. As you saw when we special summoned out the driver in our last one, we didn't have much that we can do there, but now we have the copy of Zeoman that's banished, and if our Cross Archfiend resolves, we just get more out of it. We're going to add our Teleport Fusion again off of the Mind Procedure, go into the Silent Psychic Magician, bring back the Mind Procedure off of the Magician, then we can go into our Cross, use the effect of Cross in order to bring back the copy of Zeoman. From here, we can then use the effect of Zeoman, which will give us access to the Rising Scale. From here, we can then synchro away into the Thunder God. We'll then activate the Rising Scale, banishing the Zeoman, use the effect of the Rising Scale, and again, this is just one of those spots where you have options. You can go into your Deer Note, you can go into your Zeoman, and this one I'm just going to go into the Zeoman so that we can go into our Punisher, and then we can set the Teleport Fusion, and then during our opponent's turn, at any point, you can use the effect of the Teleport Fusion as long as it is during the main phase. So when I say any point during the main phase. So on this next one, we have the Serene Psychic Girl alongside the Mind Procedure, and we're going to start here by normal summoning the Serene Psychic Girl, use its effect banishing the Mind Procedure, and I would like to point out there might be some hands where you have the teleport cards in hand and you don't need to resolve it in order to add the teleport that you want. So if you want to use its effect as an extra extender to play around stuff, you can, but we're going to bring out our next new card. This is the Hush Psychic Minister. It's a level 3 psychic effect monster that reads, if you control a psychic monster other than Hush Psychic Minister, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. And it's important to note that you can build this deck pretty differently if you choose to build around this instead, just because since it gives you an extra body to play around hand traps, you can play Fiendsmith stuff. But the reason I didn't go with that option was because there are things that lock you into Psychics, especially from the extra deck, so I didn't feel it was worth it, especially when you want more options for Psychics. The rest of the card reads, you can only special summon Minister once per turn this way. You can banish this card and one other Psychic monster from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field, banish it until the end phase. You can only use each effect of Minister once per turn. Now, we're going to continue here by going into the Magician again. Use the effect of the Magician to bring back the copy of Procedure, then use the effect of Procedure. This will give us access to the Teleport Fusion, as we'll then be able to go into our Dragon Drive. Use the effect of Dragon Drive, which will get us the copy of the Zeoman, I believe, or no, the Ghost Ogre. As then we can go into the Jam Fever. We'll then be able to set the Teleport Fusion, and with this, we have the Monster Negation. We have the Ghost Ogre for another point of interaction, as well as the Teleport Fusion being able to go into the Axon Kicker for yet another interaction. Now, for the final combo, this is Itali plus Zeoman, and I just wanted to show that you could actually play quite a bit in the draw phase, potentially dodge some things like Droll, special summon out the Serene Psychic Girl, as we're going to use its effect banishing the Zeoman, as then we'll be able to special summon out the Mind Procedure, use its effect in order to get ourselves the copy of the Parallel Teleport. Now, I would like to point out that, as you saw, you can always go for the Teleport Fusion, go into your Psychic Magician, do the Axon play, but because I wanted to show that you could do a little bit more on your draw phase, I'm going to add the Parallel Teleport, use its effect in order to special summon out the copy of the Silent Psychic Magician, then use its effect in order to bring back the Procedure. From here, we'll then be able to go on to the main phase where we'll use the effect of the copy of Serene Psychic Girl. The reason that we're doing this is so that we can further increase the Mind Procedure to level 5, but also you want to raise it to level 3 just so that you have matching levels for your synchros. But we're going to continue here by making it level 5 and 3, then we can synchro away into the Cross, use the effect of Cross in order to bring back the Zeoman. From here, we can then use the Zeoman in order to get ourselves the copy of the Ogre Dance. Can't summon anything but Psychic monsters, or we can't special summon anything but Psychic monsters, which is why we're not going for the scale here. But from here, we'll then be able to go into our copy of the Dragon Drive, use the effect of the Dragon Drive, pay some life points, alongside the copy of Zeoman to chain block it. And then from here, we'll then be able to add ourselves the copy of Ghost Ogre. We'll then be able to go into our Jam Fever. Then going to activate the copy of Ogre Dance now that we're protected any type of hand trap versus it. Then we can add another copy of Zeoman. Normal summon the copy of Zeoman. Go into our Thunder God. Again, you've seen similar boards to this before where now we have the copy of the Fever for the Monster Negate alongside the Thunder God for a potential board wipe or just removal. Then you have the Ghost Ogre for an extra hand trap. With all of the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile, and I feel like the deck profile is actually pretty cookie cutter for what it is, where you just have a lot of 1 and 1.5 card combos that get you into the cards that you want to go into. There is a lot of choke points the deck might have where this can be a pretty pretty harsh choke point. You also have the chance of seeing this get cashed here a unicorn, which could be rough, especially considering how tight extra deck space potentially is. That said, there are some options that you can potentially take out, like you don't have to play the Ultimus, technically don't even have to play IP Masquerena if you want to fit in some extra spaces for the Silent Psychic Magician and something else. Before I really get into the rest of all this, I just want to read over the rest of the cards I didn't get to, and this is the Psychic Blaster MK2. It reads, it takes one Psychic Tuner plus one non-tuner Psychic monsters. It's also a level 9, so if you do choose to increase the Mind Procedure or whatever level 3 that you summon off of Magician, level 4, you can go into this instead of Cross or Dragon Drive or something like Omega. You can target one banished monster, special summon it to your field, similar to Cross Archfiend. During the main phase, quick effect, you can banish one monster from your graveyard, and target one other face-up monster on the field, banish it, then gain life points equal to the banished monster's original attack, and you can only use one Psychic Blade MK2 per turn, and only once that turn. Not only is it removal, but it can be an end board piece as well. You then also have the copy of the prototype Psychic Blaster. You'll see that I'm not playing it. I just didn't feel it was necessary to play, whereas you could really fit everything you needed to into 40. And while you could summon this off of the parallel teleport, fortunately it just doesn't have an on-field effect and you'd be just using it for the level. Now, that isn't to say that there isn't plays that you can make with it, because it is a level 6, and you have stuff like the Serene Psychic Girl, which is a level 2, your Frames, which are also level 2s. It can give you the level 8 access, but again, I just didn't feel it was necessary. But it reads, you can discard this card, special summon one level 4 or lower Psychic monster from your hand, or banishment. If this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 1,000 life points and banish one other Psychic monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Psychic Blaster once per turn. Now, for the final card that I haven't gone through here is the Sakura Vendor Rage. It's a TCG exclusive, and it takes 2 level 4 monsters, which is the reason that we're not playing it. While you can raise the levels of stuff in this deck, you're not really going for rank 4s. Just to read it in the Psychic video, reads, you can detach one material from this card, then target one level rank 4 Psychic monster from your graveyard, except Sakura Vendorage, special summon it. So if we do get access to a rank 4 engine, you can play it. But if a monster is special summoned while this card is in your monster zone, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up monster on the field. That monster's name becomes Sakura Vendorage until the end phase. You can only use each effect of Vendorage once per turn. An interesting card here, I don't quite know the applications of the name change just yet, at least in terms of it being beneficial to this deck. Other things that I would like to talk about are, because there's level 3 access in this deck, you can potentially play sub-engines, and this is something that I was looking at, but I didn't feel, again, it was worth it just because you lock yourself into psychics and stuff like that. I just wanted to throw it out there that you could play it. And the same thing goes for the K9 engine, where let's say that you didn't want to play the Frame stuff, then you can just play the K9 engine instead. But because it is a psychic deck, and I felt that something that you can easily search off of Lambda once you go into it, and having access into something like this, which can banish your own monster, return it during the end phase, act as an Omega sort of in order to get yourself your Frame, I felt that it wasn't all too bad to play the Frame cards. You'll also see that I have one copy of Gamma, the one copy of Delta, and the one copy of Epsilon, basically just a negate for Monster Trap spell, with Impulse and the Dominus stuff being so popular in the format, and especially with the more decks that can search traps, that it's worth actually playing. Other engines that you can potentially play in this deck are things like Cashier. I also would like to talk about Overmind Archfiend. There is a more heavier synchro version of the deck that you choose to play. This is something potentially cool that you can do, where once per turn you can select one psychic type monster in your graveyard, remove it from play, and when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, special summon as many monsters as possible that were removed from play by this effect. While I don't think that it's worth playing right now, I just think that it's worth pointing out. The psychic monsters you have are things like Shen Shen, the Juju, and then you also have the Mind Castle for extra removal. The important part here would be the level 6, and depending on what you want to play, whether it be the Hyper Psychic Riser or the copy of Mind Castle, I just thought the Psychic Riser was a little bit more interesting. It means that neither players can activate the effects of face-up monsters on the field with more attack than this card, and that can act as a pseudo board breaker, just a way to really lock down your opponent so that you can make a couple of plays with some of your other cards before synchroing it away for your level 8. it is a level 6 and it's easy to get level 2 monsters and so on. If you wanted to play a version more oriented around the Hush Minister, you could play the Fiendsmith stuff. Again, I didn't feel it was worth it. I didn't want to play the Mutant Fusion for whatever reason. There is the Ultimate Axon Kicker, which again, I just think that you're always going to be playing the Ultimates if you're in a more competitive setting. With all of that, I'm just going to get onto the card by card as I really don't have much else to say. So we have the 3 Ogre Dance, the 3 copies of Theomin, the 3 copies of Mind Procedure, the 3 copies of Psychic Girl, 3 Itelli, 3 Parallel Teleport, the 1 copy of Teleport Fusion, Talents and Ghost Ogre. We then have the Rising Scale, Foxy Tune, the 1 copy of Deer Note, the 1 copy of Minister, the 1 copy of Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, and Driver, the 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Droll, the 3 copies of Purge, the 3 copies of Imperm. We then have the 1 copy of Lambda in the extra deck, the 1 copy of Mask, the 1 SP, Absolute Axon Kicker, the Mutant Fusion. We then have the Thunder God, the Amazing Dragon, the copy of Punisher. We then have the Blaster, the Dragon Drive, Cross, Omega, the 1 copy of Psychic Riser, which again could be the Mind Castellan, depends on what you want to play. We then have the Silent Psychic Magician, and the Jam Fever to round out the deck profile. But anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I'd like to thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below.